This is another Disney podcast production.
Welcome, dreamers of all ages, to episode 38 of Another Disney Podcast, the week of the start of the 50th anniversary. Let's go.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back. It's so good to be back with you. It's so good to be back from the 50th anniversary celebration at Walt Disney World Resort. And as you can see by the three people on the screen, we have a new guest, a first-time guest to the Another Disney Podcast family. I want everybody to help me welcome the one, the only, my wife, Krista Pong.
You got your music. Are you happy?
Oh, it's so magical. I love it.
False.
Not spoiled at all.
Okay,
Didn't see. What you people didn't see is that she demanded to have some sort of pixie dust fairy music. So in order to get her to be on the show, we had to agree to play some sort of fairy happy music.
This is true.
So there you go, Krista.
Okay, now
you got your music.
Demanded is right.
Well, you kept asking. I felt obligated. But here's the thing. We have played that several times throughout our shows, but I've more recently kind of let it be heard when somebody says the word iridescent, because that has been all of the 50th theming, I guess.
I have iridescent on. Look, my sweatshirt's iridescent. Can you see?
Yes. I can't tell. But welcome, Krista, the woman behind the man. There's always a great woman behind a man.
Truth.
Okay,
yep.
that was
and
quiet.
This is 100% true in our case. She seemed super excited about it.
What, being the woman behind the man?
Nice having you on. It was nice having you on, Krista.
Listen, I just survived a vacation with three men. So that
we'll see you guys next week.
Oof.
So I love how you said, like, we're back from our 50th. I don't know if you said we're back, but I certainly got the feeling that you were like, hey, we just got back from our Disney World vacation. You live 4 minutes if you crab walk backwards from Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, it's pretty close. Yeah. We had to actually drive further away to go get our dogs than we would have had to drive to get home from Pop Century Resort. But
right.
We are technically back from our vacation at Disney World.
This is true.
We stayed on property.
Yeah. So to catch everybody up, here's what happened. Obviously, Brandon and Krista live a stone's throw away from the Magic Kingdom. Myself and Matthew flew down. We arrived on the 28th of September because we had, if you remember, that annual pass holder preview for Ratatouille. And so we did that. And then the 29th, our favorite people, Brandon and Krista, actually did a staycation, I guess, if you will, and we had rooms six doors down from each other, which is, I think worked out great. Like, it's nice and close, but you also had your space if David and Matthew were driving you crazy. But we were all there basically on property together the 29th through the 3rd of October. So a couple days leading up to, and then of course the big kickoff was the 1st, and then we spent a couple more days before Matthew and I flew home and you guys went and got your dogs. And it was a magical trip, to say the least.
Was indeed. I think it was magical.
Yeah.
What do you think, Krista?
Yeah.
I think I'm still recovering. Like, I'm a certain age now where you forget that, Disney's tiring. It was awesome. It was magical.
Preach.
But we're definitely a different age than we went 11 years ago.
Yes.
It wears on you a little bit after the trip. No, but it was good. It's one of those things that it happens, and it was so good. It was just so many magical memories and fun time. We had so much fun that you did it happen? It happened so fast, and you're back to the work life.
Yeah.
But people at work were laughing, like, "Weren't you on vacation last week?" I'm like, "Yeah, I was on vacation." They always were at Disney. I'm like, "Yeah, I stayed on property though." Like,
boom.
I was on vacation.
Yeah, it was legit. So Brandon.
Yes.
Okay. So let me put you on the spot for a second. One word reaction to when we walked into the Magic Kingdom on Friday, October 1st? Go.
When we walked into the Magic
That's
Kingdom
more than one word.
first. Oh,
Yes.
that's a lot of words. Crazy.
Okay, that's fair.
Craziness.
That's fair.
When we actually walked into the Magic Kingdom, it wasn't bad. It wasn't anywhere near as bad as I had anticipated that it was going to be getting into the actual park itself. The craziness started when we got up to get on the bus at Pop Century Resort. That is when the craziness started.
Yeah, that's very
We
true.
got in line at what? 6 a.m.?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Something like that. How many people were in line?
715,000.
Yes, there were a lot of people in line, but it took us. It wasn't as bad. It ended up not being as bad as I thought. We waited maybe 35 minutes, and we got on a bus, and then we were walking in the gates of Magic Kingdom within the hour. So
it was surprisingly fast.
Yeah, it was surprisingly fast.
They were. I mean, it was the only resort open, so clearly they were ready for on-property guests. I mean, there was. But and the entire time that we stood in that weaving line at Pop Century, I would say there was maybe a 4-minute period that there wasn't a bus there loading. So it was going really well. And one of the things that I like now, I hope this doesn't come across as because we want all of the magic people to experience the magical place, right? But I loved what they did that morning is they had a special line and a dedicated bus for anybody who was in a wheelchair or an EV. I was a big fan of that. So they could literally slam back all the other buses and get as many people headed toward the Magic Kingdom. And but those other buses, they got to completely fill with EVs and their families. So I thought that was a really smart move. I don't know that they did that at other resorts, but they definitely did that at Pop.
Yeah, for sure.
I thought that was really cool. Okay, Krista, your one-word reaction to walking into Magic Kingdom on the first.
I'd say legendary.
Whoa.
Dramatic.
That's
I think the whole day just had I'm gonna get emotional talking. It just had a feeling like it was bigger than, what is that? Like you're bigger than, something's bigger than you. Like, is that the word? How do you say that?
Yes, words.
When you feel like something's bigger than you. It just, words. It just felt like, I mean, everyone that's there loves Disney, right? Now, you could have a couple families that accidentally happened to be at the park that day and probably regretted every second of it because they're like, what is happening? But for the most part, everyone there are Disney nerds. Like, we love Disney. And so there was an energy all day long of just being a part of something bigger than you, something exciting. You know, everyone had special shirts and families were celebrating they were there 50 years ago and they're taking pictures again. And I don't know, it was just a super, I will always treasure the memories of feeling on that day. So I'd say legendary.
Okay, that's fair.
Right,
so I guess now I have to answer the question.
If you had to use one word to describe the Magic Kingdom, walking into the Magic Kingdom, being at the Magic Kingdom on Friday, what would it be?
You know, you would have thought that since I asked this question, I had all week since I returned to be ready to answer it. I thought of that question when I asked it.
No. I mean, I've done.
You know me long enough
to know that. Yes, and I know that you need at least 10 minutes to come up with an answer. So we should have babbled. We should have babbled longer.
No, it's fine. I got one. It's just a weird word, and it's expectant. So I was expectant of something to happen, and I'm not going to be negative about this in any way. I'm determined to not be, but I was expectant of something, and for me, that something never happened. And I guess we'll just take this show to unpack it. Was it a fantastic day? Yep. Was I super stoked that I was there? Yes. If I had it to do all over again, would I do it? Absolutely. But expectant, and maybe that was the wrong way to be. I just thought something was going to happen that day that would have made it extra special, and I never got that
very
feeling.
Underwhelming.
Yeah. That was
very underwhelming.
She said it, not me. Okay, so let's unpack that day. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I was just going to say, I mean, even from the time, we pulled up, I mean, they have the obvious 50th decor outside. Maybe we didn't get there early enough with the people they let in the park at 6:20 in the morning. Apparently there was a cast clap line that welcomed people into the park, but I just would have expected something coming into the park, maybe something playing over the PA system, or welcome to the most magical place on the earth for the most magical celebration. But it was really, aside from the crowded part of it, it didn't feel any different than going into the park any other day.
Right.
But we did get a special annual pass card outside with our cast member, Hannah. She was very excited and very helpful.
Yeah.
And we got a special commemorative map when you walked in.
Yes.
I'm trying to.
And as we exited, you got there were two things that set that day apart. And so if you go back to the 45th anniversary, I wasn't there, but I remember people walking in and they got like a little button, kind of like the I'm celebrating buttons, except it said I was there or something. And then the same thing for Mickey's birthday. If you were there for his 90th birthday, there was another I was there button. And so instead of a button, they did a poster, which was really nice quality, that you could get as you were leaving the park that day. And that was it's not like something you can get throughout the 50th, as well as that the park map was only that day was it special. So that was cool to have those physical keepsakes. That I was super excited about.
Yeah.
So let's kind of unpack the day. So the coolest thing, I don't know how long this is going to last. I suspect it could potentially last for a little while. And that is off of Main Street on the 50th, the park felt like a normal COVID-19 reduced capacity day. I don't think there was a ride wait over 45 minutes. And when I say that, I'm clearly speaking of Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. Everything else was either walk on or maybe 20 minutes. And I think that rang true or even better at the other three parks, especially that day. But our entire trip, there was no long lines. Now, I know that for the 50th, if you were on social media at all, you know why. People were exploding in the Emporium, and they were in popcorn bucket lines that felt like miles long for a popcorn bucket.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't call myself a collector, but I have a giant 3-layer tall shelf that's full of nothing but popcorn buckets from Magic Kingdom or from Disney World. But the big one that was launching, at least right now, was it looks like the Mickey balloon ears. That's just not my jam. Yeah. So very early on, they had the gold one, and I think that's what everybody was in line for. And they had another one that was kind of like, let me practice my colors. Krista, would you call it fuchsia?
I think it was supposed to be red, but it was like a muted red.
Oops,
I would say. And I think there was a blue.
Yeah, I think
yellow, red.
But the gold
and the sipper cup, which we missed out on the sipper cup too. The mini sipper cup, that was kind of cool.
Anyway,
it was the size of a popcorn bucket.
Yeah, to say that we didn't ride a lot, but you could ride whatever you wanted. With minimal to no wait.
And what kind of rides did we do that day? We did specific rides that day.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, I think we tried to stay towards the OG original opening day rides when we could. Like Dave said, if you wanted to go to the park that day and ride anything, you could have. That's the thing that surprised me the most was that it almost reminded me of like an after hours party ride wise.
Oh, that's true.
Aside from the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, even Splash Mountain, Thunder Mountain, those had 15-minute waits, so it wasn't crowded, and that's the thing that surprised me. But back to the question that Krista asked, we tried to stick to the rides that were there, like original rides from opening day. So we did Hall of Presidents, we did the Tiki Room, we did Hall of Presidents. We played in the Shooting Arcade. We just all that original stuff that you don't always do. We rode the carousel. I haven't ridden the carousel in 10 years. So that was fun. So we stuck to those kind of rides.
And then the other thing that me, you, and Matthew did, which is not something that I have done in a long time, and it's mostly because Splash Mountain has a ridiculous wait, but we conquered the 3 mountains. So we rode all 3 that day. So we did Splash, Space, and Thunder. So that was cool to me because I was like, dang, it's been a long time since I've done that, because I don't like to wait in Splash Mountain for an hour. It's like, I know how it ends.
Yeah.
But since everything, I think for me, that was the longest line that I stood in that day. That was maybe 20 minutes, Brandon? Maybe
20 minutes, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Space was a walk on. Big Thunder was like a 2 train wait, maybe. I think that's fair to say, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Like
and I think, so let me unpack my why as to, okay, why didn't we take advantage? Well, if you go back to my expectant comment, and that was, it was the 50th anniversary. That's 50 years of that park being open. And you think of all of that time and all of the innovation that's come along. And we knew that all of the suits were there. Chapek was there. Iger was there. Jason Derulo was there. I don't know if he was there or not. Josh I meant to say Josh Tomorrow was there. So, I mean, the heavy hitters were there. And so now I will say, Brandon, all leading up to this, we're like, because of COVID, they're probably not going to do anything, but they were all there. And I thought for sure they would do something, even though it was unannounced, from the castle, either come out with the morning show. It's not the morning show.
Good morning, Marco.
Welcome show.
There you go.
The welcome show.
Welcome show. Oh. Which I didn't watch, but I was informed that it's not the welcome. It's a whole totally different thing. So that was the first moment that you guys saw Mickey and Minnie run out in their new iridescent outfits. I was trying to get some merch with all the rest of the crazies, but yeah, that was my biggest shock. That was my biggest shock. I was like, they're here. And then come to find out, I didn't watch it on purpose the night before because I just didn't know what they were going to do. They were showing the fireworks for Enchantment. What they did with the media the night before that they streamed on social media, that was their big event. So like JPEG spoke of that. They rededicated the park. Christina Aguilera sang and they played the fireworks. Am I right?
Yes.
Is that correct? Okay. And that was the thing. Literally nothing happened in the park other than the free things that we got that were specific to that day. And I think that's what I was the most like, really? Like 50 years? Like, I don't know. I mean, I just remember the one at Disneyland, like the 60th, which I know is the Diamond, but that was such, but I feel like 50 is a big number. I should know. I'm approaching
the opening show. The opening show was, I mean, like Mickey and Minnie came out and a couple other characters. And they all had the iridescent, I missed it, sorry, outfits on, but it was literally like 25 seconds long. It wasn't long at all.
Right.
And do you remember the rumor we kept hearing all day long? We kept hearing this rumor that every character is going to appear today, even like old classic ones. We're going to see them. Yeah, it was all, you were just like waiting all day for something to happen.
Yeah.
But
I think that's
the energy
fair.
was fun. I thought the energy was fun. Like
Yes.
the crowd and just the feeling of like you all love Disney and it's going to be a fun day, but maybe that's part of the magic, right? Anticipation.
Yeah. That chaos on Main Street was there for the entire day. Like that was where the most people were for sure.
That
was nuts.
Yeah. And one thing we forgot to mention was the complete debacle that people were having with mobile ordering, because obviously, the quick service restaurants are only mobile order right now. I mean, some of them opened up lines, but we were smart enough that when we were waiting in the bus line at 6 a.m., we said, it might be a good idea to order our lunch now. So we ordered that at like 6:15 to pick up at Columbia Harbor House, and that was great, smooth, no problems. We ordered our dinner ahead of time, but some people were waiting 2-3 hours for food when they mobile ordered in the park. So that was kind of crazy.
And to show you the difference, right? So we remembered, like while we were sitting eating lunch is probably when we should have ordered dinner, but we didn't. We ordered dinner around 3, and when it first popped up, it was in the 7 o'clock hour. So there was 4 hours at 3 p.m. at the restaurant that we were looking to get, which I don't even remember what it was. What was it?
Cosmic
Cosmic Rays. We shot for the moon on that one. But yeah, it was like a 4-hour wait. There. Yeah, I know. But Brandy kept checking, and we got it down to the 5 o'clock hour. But still, it was not at a point where, like, if you were hungry, let's go ahead and pre-order right now and get it in 20 minutes. That was not a thing. So we had waited at least 2 hours to be able to get like a mobile order. Now, some of the places, I don't know if Cosmic Rays is one of them, but some of them you can still walk up and just stand in line and order. But it's always easier to do it.
That seemed to be more the other parks that we visited during the week. Not so much Magic Kingdom. But what was your most surprising part of the day, Krista?
Ooh, of that day? I think I was disappointed to hear about all the, I mean, granted, we're in the park. I wasn't on my phone very much, but you could hear the social media drama and people fighting over merchandise. And we had to laugh because we walked into the Emporium at 5:30 that night and scored these puppies. They just handed them to us. We paid, we walked out, nobody got punched. So I was a little saddened to hear that like people were frantic over merchandise, and a lot of it had been there for at least, we live here, so we've seen it for a while. But I don't know. Other than that, I was really surprised. I told you guys this all day. This is going to sound bad, but when you're in the park, good 20, 50 minutes in, you start getting just, strollers are running over your feet, or people are pushing into you, or, you just get kind of annoyed. I just was like, maybe it's just the mood I was in, but I just feel like everyone was happy all day. And even the cast members I talked to, I went up to everyone I saw. Hey, thank you for today. We really appreciate what you're doing. And they were so glowing and so happy. And they're like, it has been a great day. Everyone's been super friendly and nice. So it saddened me to hear people on social media, or at least the frenzy was like, everyone's fighting and everyone's mad, when it really didn't feel it. It must have been just like a small spot in the gift shop where that happened. Yeah. And I feel like that's taken over the rest of the day, when the rest of the day, everyone I talked to was just so excited to be there. Even if you're hungry, even if you're tired, it was just a happy day. Like I said, the cast members were elated to be there, and they said everyone was super nice. So that was good to hear.
I think you kind of nailed it with, it was people that want, if you think about, as like, we'll plow through all this again, right? The 50th is 18 month long. It will cover 3 calendar years.
Yeah.
There are like several new attractions and rides that aren't even close to opening that will open at some point during the 50th. Like, if you're waiting for I'm going to go once during the 50th, like, the beginning was not the time. So what was cool, and I think what Krista is saying here, it was that day is your people that love Disney, wanted to be in the park, didn't need anything special, just wanted to be there 50 years to the day that it opened. And I would say that we fall under that group of people. Like, when I say expectant, like, I just thought they would do something that felt like, hey, today's the 50th anniversary and we're so glad you're here, and here's a big thing that's only going to happen today. Woo! And, and it didn't. Did it take away from the day? No. Did I go home or back to Pop Century disappointed? No. I just kind of was like, it's kind of like you were waiting for that. What are they going to do? What are they going to do? And they didn't. And that's okay. No one says you have to. So I think that's where, but yeah, it was not a lot of, I didn't see anybody be nasty to cast members. I didn't see anybody angry. We'll get to the point where we talk about Enchantment, and there's 853 million people on Main Street, because the fireworks now include projections on the Main Street buildings. So, like, to get the full experience, you want to be there. I'm sure the hub was just insane, just based on the amount of people, and I'm sure there was thousands of people that didn't even know that was going to be, include projections on the Main Street buildings. But yeah, everybody was orderly and happy, which I know that sounds weird to say about Disney.
Yeah.
But we met cool people too. Like, we met,
yes.
I just loved it, because again, you all have this common like love for Disney. And we met, shout out to Helen. We met her in the merchandise line. We met a super nice guy, Brad, who we talked to for a while, kept us entertained while we were waiting for the fireworks. We met, we got to meet Gail and Scott. If you're on Facebook, you see them all the time. They have their really cute outfits on. You guys met a lot of YouTube people and podcast.
Yeah,
people.
Justin Scard, I got to meet. I forget, there was somebody else. Oh, Matthew met somebody really cool. Matthew met the voice of Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
That was cool. So that was back in Ratatouille when we were there on the 28th. that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was your first day. That was like your first day there, man.
Yeah.
You're like, I can't get much better than this. We met Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, super cool.
I think I made a joke because he went and took a picture with him, and I was like, "That's the only person this entire week that's going to stand next to Mickey Mouse and take a picture." Because there's all the social distancing with the characters; they have to be either like far away or whatever. But he got to stand right next to him, so I know that was a cool moment for Matthew. It was fun. Okay, so let's go back to our shout out of Helen. So Helen, we got to hang out with in Big Top Souvenirs, and why that's important is we talked about like the Emporium and the madness that if you haven't seen it on social media, you can search it and find it immediately. It was absolutely insane. But there was a whole nother event going on that that you just couldn't get in line and wait for, like the Emporium. And that was on the 1st, they announced some new 50th merchandise. There was like a bomber jacket, $150 poster. The pass holder shirts were revealed that day. Some other pins and buttons, and I don't know. It was a lot of stuff that surprisingly didn't interest me. However, it was a standby queue. No, what are the? I never get these
virtual
words.
queue.
Virtual queue. And it took us 6 hours to get it. And then we go get in line, and we were like, we don't want any of this. We didn't want any of this. But that's where you got the pass holder shirts. So it was great. Yeah.
We made friends in line.
So we met Helen. And we saw the team from the Diz. So the Diz Unplugged and the Diz, like if you're anybody Disney, I'm sure you've been on Diz boards or know about the Diz. So like that was fun to meet them. And there was a connection there because part of their team is from Maryland, not far from where you guys are from.
Yeah.
So that was kind of fun.
And you got to go on Fuzz's show and say hi to him too.
Yeah, we did go live. Well. And then we ran into what is it? TV One, and got to hang out with him for a couple of minutes and shouted out our podcast shamelessly. I'm just gonna say that. There was like 8,900 people watching. So if this is your first show, welcome. We're glad you're here.
Welcome.
We love TV. Yeah. We love Resort TV One. But yeah, Rob Fuzz, if you don't know him, I highly recommend. He basically goes live every week on YouTube with retro rides from like the 80s and 90s from Disney. It is epic. Yeah. And so they had a show where they were honoring the first, and he knew we were going to be there. He was like, David, if you can pop on. And I was like, sure, we'd love to. So we kind of hung out in the hub for a few minutes and was on their show popped in for 10 minutes. It was super fun. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I think that describes our day. Should we get to the evening, or I guess specifically the show? Should we get
to the evening, the new evening entertainment?
Yeah. Why don't you kick that off?
So, as everyone knows, or maybe some of you don't because you're not on Disney boards all the time, obviously Happily Ever After is no more. That show ended on September the 29th. We went and saw the last show of Happily Ever After, which Krista and I have talked about this. Dave and I have talked about this. We love Happily Ever After.
Oh, yeah.
We're sad it's gone. What were you going to say, Krista?
Can we have a moment of silence, please, for Happily Ever After? Thank you. I'm
yes.
No, that's a happy sound. It's not happy.
Everything. So obviously that show is no more. The new show, Disney Enchantment, premiered on the 1st. I can't adequately describe how many people were on Main Street to watch this show. We found an alley down before you get to Starbucks. You take a right off Main Street by the jeweler. I think we sat there for like 2 hours before the show started.
It's glorious.
Because they shut Main Street down at 4:30 that afternoon for people to start sitting in it. So we were not going to do that. It was super hot. But we took in the new nighttime spectacular, in quotes.
Yeah.
Enchantment. At the park, called Disney Enchantment.
Disney Enchantment. Or Krista, Enchanted.
What did you think about Disney Enchantment?
Yeah, let's unpack this show.
Oh, I'm okay. So I'm short. And again, shout out to our friend Brad who gave us slid us in so we could see that show. So I saw like this much of it because I'm short and I had a pole and a person in front of me. So I've had to watch it again. I need to see it in person again. We watched the fireworks in the backyard. It's not happily ever after, so I'm trying to separate that and look at it as its own entity. What I've decided is I think Enchantment is good for, like, if you said to me, hey, Krista, we're going to go to the park. If you love Disney movies, there's this great, and you love fireworks, there's this great show. You will love it. Truth. It's kind of like somebody referred to it as the Disney Plus show. So you see like all your favorite movies, and you hear some of your music. It's a little different versions of some of the songs. And you just find that nostalgia, and the fireworks are incredible. But I wouldn't say, happily ever after, and we have friends that have come to visit us, always said this, like, you turn around from that show and think like, am I living my best life? What are my dreams? You just got inspired from it. I don't think the show is going to inspire you, but if you're a Disney fan, it's happy, it's joyous, it's great fireworks. Now, we might talk about this another time, but I think Harmonious at Epcot, I think that's more adult geared because Epcot's more of an adult park. I think this one, Enchantment, is better for kids. Like, kids will be more entertained by this one than maybe Happily Ever After because they don't want like a motivate your life message in the fireworks show. That's my opinion. Take it or leave it.
Very, very good.
Yeah.
I'm trying to grow on it, or I'm trying to love it. We'll see.
Yeah, and I've listened to. It was a different experience seeing it in the park on the first, and then coming home, separating yourself from the vacation of Disney. Obviously, couldn't see the projections on the castle or on Main Street, but it was very different listening to just playing the music and watching the fireworks from the backyard. And I found myself actually liking it more without all the hustle and bustle, if that makes sense. The music is good. The song grows on me. I've been singing it for the last 3 days for some reason. I don't know why, but it's grown on me. So I think it's just, like anything change-wise, it's just going to take some time to get used to it.
Yeah,
and I have to say, I didn't cheat. I didn't watch anything before. Like,
me neither. So I've seen it one time in person. So it's hard for me to give like.
Did you cheat?
No, no.
The night before?
No, that was Harmonious. Like, we watched Harmonious because it got ripped apart. I shouldn't say that's right, because some of the media that went and saw it didn't get glowing reviews.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when we watched it on Disney's feed, I didn't like it either. But we'll unpack.
I don't think any of us liked it.
Yeah, we'll unpack.
Yeah,
that
we'll unpack that
for sure.
in a minute.
I have a lot to say about Harmonious. Okay, so Disney Enchantment, whatever. I can't ever get the name right. Okay. No, like I'm just like, I'm very negative in life. I'm a negative Nancy. I'm a glass half empty. I know that will probably surprise people listening to the show regularly. If you know me, not a surprise. But I always try to cast this, like, I don't ever like to complain about Disney. I mean, we do a show about Disney. I run a network about Disney. I love Disney. I'm going to defend Disney. Like, I could drag them through the mud about something, and if somebody else has something bad to say, I'm immediately defending Disney, and they're idiots. So the challenge is it's new. There are I'll give you 3 main points of where I struggle with this. I did very well. There are 3 major things that I'm struggling with, or I think that they're missing. She's taking notes, everyone. Okay. Number 1, and you guys may have to help me. So I may be wrong straight out of the gate. So let's just start there so you guys can be like, nope, that's not what they said. And then I'll feel stupid. Let's go. So number 1, Brandon, is it your understanding that this is the show for the 50th anniversary of Walt Disney World?
To be determined. I
don't know what they said.
I don't think
they
the
said that or not.
I don't think the messaging is clear. This was the show that they were going to debut during the 50th anniversary to replace Happily Ever After. But I am still fuzzy as to whether or not, when this 18-month celebration's over, whether Enchantment is staying or they are developing something else or bringing Happily Ever After.
See, that's the
back.
question. But I'm going to go with, you waited to start this on October 1st. This is specifically for the 50th. Like that, when based on your start date, that's what you're telling me. That's what you're telling me. Now, the same thing happened with Harmonious. No, that's actually not true, because we watched Harmonious at Epcot before October 1st, and it was not a special event.
Yes.
It was not a special. Now, everything else for Disney's Enchantment before the first was like, there was a media event, right? I guess that was the only one. I don't know. Anyway, there was a viewing that was private before it launched. Harmonious, not the case. So I'm going to go with that. So here's my number one problem. If this was for the 50th, it was underwhelming. I know that's a very broad stroke general term.
I agree.
Why do I think it's underwhelming? I have experienced one other show at a Disney park that involved the Main Street being lit up with projections. Okay. And that is the Mickey Magic. I don't know what it's called, but it's at Disneyland. I think they still do it. It's much shorter. It might not even be a 12-minute show, but what's happening all around you on Main Street is phenomenal. Like, it's all over the place, and there's characters. Like, it's insane. It's crazy, but it's also meant to be a party feel. But when you compare those projections to what happened on Main Street, I'm disappointed we lined up on Main Street. I wish we had been in the hub. I think being in the hub could drastically change how I feel about this show. That it was very elementary and not a lot going on the sides. Oh wait, spoiler alert, everyone. Spoiler alert on the new show. My bad. Well, we haven't given any details, but like, there wasn't you do not have to stand on Main Street to watch this show. I'm just going to say that. No. You aren't missing anything, in my opinion. Okay, so that was the number
I was
two.
Distracted by that.
Do what?
Like, that's all I could see. I guess it's the only thing I could see because I'm short. So I started watching the Main Street stuff because it's what I could turn and actually see that stuff. I mean, it wasn't as exciting as I anticipated, but it was cute. And I will say you could stand anywhere and see different views. Like the one side I saw Soul, and then I saw Nemo, and then it would change. And like to Be Our Guest, they had the dancing spoons.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that was a highlight.
I would assume Disneyland was probably a little more.
Yeah, it's insane. I'll have to send you a link.
I expected more of that.
Yeah, that's all. That's all it is. If you're in, like, they announced, we're including projections on Main Street. Based on what I've seen at another park, that was level 2. If you called Disneyland was a level 10, that was level 2. Yeah. Okay, so that's it. Like, is it bad? Nope. I was not impressed. That sounds horrible. Number 2. Again, I'm saying that this is based on the 50th, and this will go back to the whole day. But I would say my biggest problem with October 1st, and as of right now, until I hear something different, Enchantment, is they've been at this for 50 years. There was nothing looking back to those 50 years. Nothing. No, and that does not just include Magic Kingdom. There's nothing in Harmonious that honors the past. There's nothing in Enchantment that honors the past. There's nothing so far in the 50th celebration at Magic Kingdom in any of their activities that honors like how we got here. And I just found that bizarre. Yeah. There's no Walt's voice. There's no Roy's voice. There's no, here's some fun imagery of the 70s, the 80s, there was none of that. It almost was like, hey, it's our 50th. Here's a bunch of new stuff. And there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. But like, I don't know. I just feel like that's where you look back and remember, look at how we've grown. Look at where we started. Look at where we are. Look at how far we've gone. And then number 3 it's funny that you say the song is like growing, or that you've been singing it. Give me like the chorus, because it's always talking. It's the premise is we're the magic, right? Meaning the people, us, right? Yeah. That's the premise, right?
It's very show choir to me. It's very show choir song.
Yeah. All I know is you are the magic.
Yeah.
I know the tune, but I don't know the words.
Right. Magic. And so as soon as I started hearing that a lot, I was like, No, Disney, that's not right. We all come here to experience the magic here that you've been doing for 50 years, at least in Orlando, right?
Yes.
And I don't want to be the magic. I want to come here and feel the magic. I don't want to be the magic. Do you guys? Do you guys want to be like, yeah, that's right. We provide the magic now. Because if it was up to me, if I'm providing the magic, we're doing some nostalgia stuff. We got to switch up the show.
Yeah.
Those are my 3 points that took a really long time. Yeah. Those are my 3. And I feel like I approached them positively, hopefully. I don't know.
Yeah, that was good.
Okay.
Do you know how I sing You Are the Magic, though? It hit me the other day, and it probably is not intended this way. But to me, when I sing that and when I hear that, I think of the cast on Disney, the cast members. Like, to me, that's like, and it's probably not supposed to be laid out, but to me, it's like You Are the Magic is talking about the cast members. So you're right. I agree. I go to feel the magic, not that I guess you have the magic in you, but I don't know. Maybe that's how my brain dealt with it. I just I'm going to think about this as like a little tribute to our cast members and how much we love them. But
brilliant.
I agree. Idea. Just Walt's voice, like even Epcot Forever had Forever show had Walt's voice in it.
Yeah.
Like just a little, and all my friends were texting me that night that were like, I mean, they had this prime opportunity to acknowledge, like you said, the past or it's
it was
sad.
Weird.
But I'm, it's still good.
It's not wrong. It's just I oversight. Oversight. Yeah.
Oversight. Yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah. I think it was just a little bit of a mixed message because you look at all the merchandise, right? Like the shirt I'm wearing,
the Vault collection.
Vintage and it's all about looking back at the past and bringing stuff from the past back. But then you get this show that is designed specifically for the 50th anniversary. And it could have been in a park that opened yesterday.
Yeah. That's a great statement.
Yeah.
Doesn't make it bad.
Doesn't make it bad. But it's just, if it was created for the 50th, I think it missed the mark a little bit on the feeling that it left you with. That's all.
Yeah.
Maybe it would have been too obvious to recognize 50 years.
But if you haven't seen, I would say the highlight to me of the merch is definitely the Vault collection, which sounds funny because when I think of that, I remember when they had DVDs and they would put the ones in the vault and they release them. Like that's where my mind automatically. Oh, I can now get Lion King. It's out of the vault. Yes.
They were VHS.
Yeah. So there's some very retro. I got a metal plate so I could take camping. Like it has the old school Mickey and the old school logo and the castle. And you can't see all of Brandon's shirts, but it says Walt Disney World and it has a little flag and it's opening 1971. Oh, opens October 71. There, he's showing it now. That stuff was really rad.
And Mr. Toad.
Yeah, Matthew got Mr. Toad's Wild Ride shirt. I mean, so there were these great throwbacks and merch, and then to be negative, all your throwback was for a cash grab. Sorry. Here's some cool throwback. Oh, we're going to make a ton of money off this stuff, sell this stuff. And they're right. Because all this, other than the pass holder shirt, that's all I bought. I got a replica park map from opening day. I got the shirt Brandon's wearing. I got something else. I don't know. I bought too many things. But yeah, that was where there was all the throwback merch. That was it. Okay, enough negative. It was fantastic.
Disney made back all of their money.
Yes.
In one day on merchandise.
I think I made a joke when we were walking around the park that I was like, you think Bob Chapek and Bob Iger got together and said, well, like this was the beginning of their 18-month-long Black Friday celebration where they go back to making money again. Because and Krista, you kept asking, you kept saying, how much money do they make on merch today? I would love to know that number.
I would love to. I would never. Well, there's no way to know, but
yeah, golly.
I mean, the merch go up too.
Yeah.
The
so can I?
Up on merch since then.
I don't think my wife's going to listen to this episode. Can we be honest and say we all bought a pass holder shirt? That was $40. It was a T-shirt. It was a $40
no, but we had a discount.
T-shirt.
We got the discount.
We did get the 20% off, but holy smokes, Batman! That's a T-shirt.
$40 T-shirt.
I look back and I was like, I bought a $40 T-shirt. What on earth? We made a fun picture out of it. We did make
On
a
the
fun
podcast.
picture.
Check out our Facebook page.
Yes.
It's right there. It's fun.
It's hilarious.
It took all week.
It's worth $120.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So where do we go from here? We're 45 minutes in. What else should we talk about?
We can definitely go quickly
Harmonious.
through the rest of it. We got to talk about the other new show. And if you were listening to a show or a couple shows back, Dave and I had a discussion about what show did we think would surprise us the most, and then what show do we think that everyone would like. And I think we both kind of agreed that Enchantment was going to be like the Disney fans, make them feel happy. I love to be at Disney show, but that Harmonious was going to surprise people. And
You're missing one more. There's
surprise
one
me
more
it
show that we
did. Surprise me it did. Yes, Kite Tails.
Get him, Krista. Yeah, Kite Tails for the win.
Kite Tails for the win.
They've been taking a beating,
Let's not
though.
forget.
I love
Let's
that show.
not forget Kite Tails.
God.
But yeah,
I don't
think
even want
we
to go
talked
there
about how
tonight.
hard we can go. We'll unpack Kite Tails on our next show.
That needs this whole
Make
hour.
sure we're going to talk about Kite Tails for a long
It was
time.
better. It was better than we anticipated.
Yeah,
Let's
I
just
loved
say
it.
that.
I thought it was really cool.
Yeah. So stay tuned for Kite Tails breakdown. But Harmonious, I think we talked about. Dave, take the people, take the listeners through our progression of Harmonious.
Please,
tough.
let's start at the very beginning.
Yes, it's a very good place to start. Okay, I'll be brief because I'm very long-winded. Okay, so they streamed it a couple of nights before it officially opened on the 1st. So I think the 29th they had a stream that I think was just open to media, but then like the 30th you could go there. It was weird and see it. But anyway, so they streamed it. I was absolutely refusing to watch it. Matthew watched it, and then he was like, uh-oh. And then of course when he started saying, he start like all of the, I guess we'll call it reviews from the media started rolling in. And there were some heavy hitters. I'm not going to drop names, but there were some heavy hitters that were professional about it, but very obviously disappointed. And I don't want to put words in disappointed. I think that's a fair place to start. Okay. And then, so once we heard that and we started hearing it getting bashed, and then we went on like social media to just like Disney pages on social media, and everybody was ripping, watched the stream. We were like, oh no. So we all curled around Matthew's iPad and we watched the replay. Wait, that's right. You didn't, Krista, right?
3 of us did. Yes.
Yeah.
One of us did not.
The boys did. The boys did. And I learned a valuable lesson, but we trashed that show watching it on the Disney Parks feed. Trashed it. It was awful. We were like, there's no story. The animation is atrocious. The fireworks seemed cool. The Stargate loop was like, what have they done? Everybody's like, gosh, even Epcot Forever was better than this. I didn't go that far, but I was like, I watched it and I was like, Brandon, did we not tear into it?
Oh, we tore into it. And there was one point in the stream, it was probably like 3 segments in. You heard somebody there who was videoing it. It may have been somebody with the Disney Parks feed. They were like, that was weird.
Yes, you could clearly hear it. I wish I knew the minute marker.
You could clearly hear it. But yeah, we destroyed it.
Yeah. So
that was our first viewing of Harmonious, was on the iPad, destroying it.
Yeah. So
I entered the room and you all, Krista, this is terrible. It's like a 6-year-old did it. This is awful. You're like, watch it. I'm like, I don't want to see it. Now, granted, there may have been some beverages involved too that may have impacted.
Doesn't matter. We watched it with the same eyes that we have in our head now. Seeing it in
person is much better, like on video. And I noticed that with Enchantment too. When I tried to I went back and watched the stream after we had seen it. I think the different views and the hopping around makes it hard to take into.
Like, here's what I would suggest.
I was determined.
Here's what I would suggest to anybody. If you would like to view either one of these shows, go on YouTube and find, for lack of a better term, like a fan posted video. Do not watch the Disney Parks version or Disney. I don't know what it is. It was because they give close-ups, they go wide. Anyway, so the 30th, we have dinner reservations at Via Napoli. And so it's like 7:45. The show starts at 9. So we mosey on out of Italy and find a little spot and watch the show. And here's where we eat our words. I kept telling you all,
just wait till you see it in person. Wait till you see it in person.
Well, some of us ate our words because we watched it, and we obviously, because we came out late, we were back a little bit behind a bunch of people. We couldn't see a lot of the screens. We couldn't see the Stargate. So some of us, after it was over, were like, the fireworks were good, but I'm still not sold on the show. You, on the other hand, you had gotten up a little bit because you taken
I was filming it,
of it. So you came back and you were like, that was incredible.
Yeah.
And
then you were like,
half of us, I was like, fireworks were awesome because I couldn't see anything. I could just see the fireworks. I could just hear the music. So that was the second viewing.
Yeah.
And then the third viewing was Saturday night?
Yes.
The night before we left?
Where we were right at the American Gateway. Right? Isn't that what they call it? Yeah. We were right.
Yeah,
basically.
Right between the gateway gifts.
Yeah. Right between those where there's like a stage where like there used to be like high schools and all that kind of stuff before, but it is, I would call it the stage for the water. Anything that's happening in the water, that's where you want to be. That's the center stage and the focus. And then what were your guys' thoughts after that?
Okay, Palm.
I'm trying to think if I loved it. I'm getting there. It's much better in person. Mm-hmm. And I was a little hurt by the music renditions at first because, you like classic songs. So it's all different people singing different versions of your songs. It took me a minute to get used to. But when we sat at the right spot where you could see the projections and see the little, what do you call them, like light? I guess they're projections, the lights in the water. You can see things we didn't see before. And I love the mixture of the diversity of like the languages and the cultures. And I got teary a couple of times. I really did. And I was like, okay, I love this. And that's when I was like, maybe this is more of an adult thing because that has that kind of inspirational feeling. It's very artsy, like the graphic, like Brennan kept saying, why do they keep showing Merida's hair? Like it's a string of red hair. Like it's kind of weird, but it's very artsy, which matches Epcot. It's all these festivals and art festivals and wine and food and wine, all these kind of things. So it's a higher level of Disney. I feel like it's the adult version of it. And the fireworks are beautiful. And I don't want to spoiler alert too much, but the ones that shoot out around you, that's a super cool feeling to be part of that too. But I would say be very particular on where you watch it because there were a couple times, remember I said to you, Dave, I was like, why is it on one side, not the other? Yeah. Like I think depending on where you're in the park, you can probably see things a lot differently.
Mm-hmm. I would say with the two shows previous of that, it didn't matter where you stood around the lagoon. That is not the case with this show. So you either need to be like American Gateway or like Italy, Japan. Yeah, you kind of have a small window, or if not, you'll be at a pretty extreme angle for anything that's going on the screens.
The perfect place to watch it would be where the stages in the American Gardens Theater, but there's a big theater in the so
that's true.
Italy's probably good, but Japan's probably the best place to be for that. But I agree. After we watched it where we did on Saturday night, 100% eat my words. I thought it was incredible. Like I loved everything about it. I loved the music. Matthew and I kept looking at each other like after each section, they always they shoot off the fireworks to go after every section, and I thought that was funny. It's like somebody was like, just hit the button. Okay, section over.
That's true.
Every section we looked at each other and we were like, that's amazing. Like that was incredible. And so it started off a little slow for me because it's very musical and watery, and there's not a lot of fireworks. But kind of once it gets going,
kind of like Merida, Coco, it just takes
once
off.
You start getting it like Merida and Coco takes off, it's amazing. But I will 100% say from Wednesday night when I saw it to Saturday night when I saw it, 100% eat my words. It's incredible.
Yeah, I have no problem.
I would go to Epcot specifically to watch that show, which is what I think we were hoping for when we talked about it before.
Correct.
We were hoping that Epcot would bring something that would make people want to come there just to see that.
Yeah.
Because most people walk around Epcot, drink around the world, about 7:00, everybody leaves.
Yeah. Or they go find dinner. Yep.
Yeah, that's not going to be the case anymore.
Yeah,
This is a must-view show for Epcot, it was incredible. I enjoyed it.
I'm a little more extreme than you guys. I would say, and there's parameters here, but like I would say, if nighttime entertainment is your jam, and somebody asked me, I can go to Walt Disney World for one day. I'd really love fireworks. Where should I go? I'm going to say Epcot over Magic Kingdom. That may be extreme. What I would tell them is get a park hopper, spend your day at Magic Kingdom, hop on over to Epcot for your evening, like food and fireworks show. But that's just me. And I'm like you guys, I still need this show to grow on me. I would like to see it from the hub and just be a little bit more focused on the castle. Cause I kept cutting my eyes. I'm like, when's something crazy cool going to happen over here? And I kind of felt like, it didn't. I don't need to be standing back here.
Something crazy cool happened. Yeah.
And there were some moments. Yeah. There were some moments, even like Brandon said, like when you originally found out, I remember this about you, Brandon, when you originally found out that Tink was going to fly in the show, you were like, okay, I'm good. As long as like, if they were going to take that, you were ready to go with like pitchforks and a fire, like it was Beauty and the Beast, and go like kill the beast. That's where your mindset was. And you were like, okay, Tank's going to be there. I'm fine. But even you said like that felt a little forced or out of place, or they had to throw in this line in the song for her to launch. Like I remember you saying that.
And Krista and I, we've talked about it every day, certainly since we saw it. It just felt like they were like, well, we know that there's Brandons out there in the world that all they care about is the fact that Tink is going to fly. And so we'll just throw her in there. But I almost missed her because, one, if you're back on Main Street, you have a very short window to see her.
Yes.
And two, there's no like obviously in Happily Ever After, they built it up. You can fly, fly, fireworks, and then she goes. This one just kind of like,
there's a
it
word
seemed to me like Tink just jumps off whenever she feels like it.
There's a word in the song that has something about either flying or soar or something, but it's just a word, and then boom, she goes. Like,
would you say it was rise, Krista? There's a word.
I thought at the time I thought it was saying rise, whatever, and then when I listened, and that's the problem too, right? We don't know the song.
Yeah, you don't know it yet. Yeah.
So I think, but I feel like the second time I listened to it, I was like, I think that's where Tink falls, and that makes sense now, but it's not as much buildup as Happily Ever After. But there is a spot in Enchanted where they're doing the You Can Fly, which that feels like where it should
would have made a heck of a lot more sense.
Yeah.
But they want to do it at the end, I get it. But I think you need to listen to it again.
Yeah.
The lyrics are hard to pick up on. Like, I feel like, I don't know, it was just hard to kind of pick up on the lyrics in the moment.
There's one thing I'm going to say that I think rings true for both shows. And I don't know if we were just in extra magical mode or we were so excited because it was the 50th. Brandon, I know you pay attention to and are way more into fireworks than I think the rest of us are. But I just thought overall the color in both shows, so Harmonious and Enchantment, I thought the color of the fireworks felt like 2 to 3 times more brilliant than Happily Ever After, Wishes, is what I'm saying. Like, I felt like the color in the fireworks popped way more than the previous shows before them. Am I out in left field?
No, absolutely not. Like we talk about, like, I love fireworks. A lot of times when I went to Happily Ever After, I couldn't tell you what was going on in the castle because I watched the fireworks. But yeah, these shows they have more fireworks. So Enchantment's probably about 4 minutes shorter than Happily Ever After is. It feels like a super quick show, but they pack a lot of fireworks into 14 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's like 60 more fireworks, and it blew my mind. Somebody actually counted them. There's like 682 fireworks in Enchantment.
That's a lot of free time.
That's a lot of fireworks in 14 minutes. And there's somewhere around like 450 in Harmonious. So there are a lot of fireworks packed into a short amount of time. Yeah. But yeah, they're definitely
bigger.
More varied than they were. They're bigger. They're higher fireworks. They're better pyro. So yeah. That's the part I enjoyed about
the
them.
color just popped more. It was crazy.
Yeah. I hope the rest of it will grow on me.
See, folks, I told you that he was more into fireworks than us because he knows the number. It wasn't lying. He likes his fireworks.
We had noticed that in the previews because they did previews like 11:30 one night. One night was almost midnight, and we had both said like, "Wow, there's a lot more fireworks in this show, much bigger." But and Harmonious too. Harmonious has a good amount of fireworks. I think they're beautiful.
Yeah, and like Brandon said, like after each section, it was like a finale every time. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was good.
And then
I went to church in Harmonious, I have to say.
You do what?
There was I went to church. Like Dig a Little Deeper is that's on my daily playlist. I love that song from Princess and the Frog, and they do a different rendition. I didn't like it when you guys played me a little piece of it on the recording, but live, I was like, we are going to church right now, man. And it just gets the music. And I'm more music.
Yep.
Probably. Like I love music, and it just got a couple of places got me. So I think we're gonna learn to love that.
I think that's what it is. It's like, I loved Illuminations. It was not for the fireworks. It was not for the spinning globe. It was the music. I thought was incredible. Okay.
Yeah. And we watched one more thing before we cut it off. We watched From the Yard with our neighbors, and she loved Wishes at Magic Kingdom. And I was playing the music on my phone to go along with the fireworks we were watching. And she was like, this has a very, very Wishes feel to it. It's very, so I think Wishes was very different than Happily Ever After. So I think we kind of forget what Wishes was like and how much we all liked Wishes. And this one is very much like that one. So it's just very different. So hopefully it grows.
I think it will.
Yeah.
We'll all learn to love it just because we love Disney.
Correct.
All right. How did we do? We didn't really summarize our trip, but we talked about kind of the highlights of the day and some of the new I mean, you guys had already ridden Ratatouille. Like I talked about that kind of at the beginning. I mean, it's cute. It's going to be virtual queue for a while. Then it'll just be, it's like, I'm not poo-pooing the ride. It's not like it's cute.
It's cute.
It's cute.
It's just Ratatouille.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
We didn't talk about the beacons of light. We did see that.
Oh yeah.
The beacons of magic. Beacons of magic.
That's right.
What did I call it? Beacons of light. That's not right. Beacons of
magic. Yeah, those were cool. Space Earth looked amazing.
I didn't see anything or hear anything about Hollywood Studios Beacons of Magical Light.
Oh yeah, you're right.
I did not hear anything. I haven't seen any pictures of it.
Animal Kingdom too?
I haven't seen anything about the Tree of Life.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, here's my question. You guys know how late it gets dark there, and is Animal Kingdom open late enough to have
right now it is. Animal Kingdom was open till 8:30 this week. So I mean it's dark by 8:30.
Okay. So then
they'll allow people in the park till 9:30.
Yeah.
So it would definitely be on, but during the regular time, no.
Yeah. That's the challenge with some, and in even Hollywood Studios closes a little bit early.
Yeah.
Than compared
but those
to,
were cool. Definitely look on our Facebook page again. I put a little snippet of what one of the little shows.
Looked cool.
It looks super cool. It's one of the ones. It's the one that looks the closest to the artist renditions that they put out for what the Beacons of Magic would look like.
Yeah.
So yeah, I enjoyed that. I thought it was cool. But it's not something that I'm like going to run to a park to see.
Faux show.
Krista,
this was great. Thanks for coming on and sharing the 50th launch with us.
Hey, it goes with your theme because this trip was all about you doing new things. Like we took you to Grand Floridian
That's
and we
right.
did a lot of new things. So me being on the show is another new thing.
That's right.
For your check.
And everyone, we're trying to get Krista to do a merch show. So you should tell her to do a merch show.
We will. Because clearly I don't buy any of it.
Never.
I mean, I don't know why.
Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We know at least what we're going to do next week. So I'll go ahead and give the spoiler. We talked about this. We thought it'd be a cool, fun way to just celebrate the 50th in a generic way. And that is Brandon and I are going to talk about in total, not each, and 50 things that we love about Walt Disney World.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we'll cover some news too, because I think we need to talk. We'll be a little bit late to the party. We need to talk a little bit about Kite Tails. It's been a rough start.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it another week and hope that it grows. But I loved the show. Super cute show.
Super.
I loved it. I just have to, I will be honest. I'm gonna put my plug. I loved it.
I did too.
A little odd, but I loved it.
Yeah. Like, and I did read an article today that they are rethinking how they have their kites exit when they're done. I'm just gonna not to do any spoilers yet. Yeah,
I'm bummed that I'm going to talk about that because that was super fun.
And the other thing I think they should do is shorten the lines, but that's a different story.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, rough start. I think they'll figure it out, or they'll just do like Rivers of Light and cancel it because that's just what happens to that area. Okay, team. Thanks, Brandon and Krista. This was awesome. I think we need more Krista in our life. Merch show. All right, team. Until next week. Love you, mean it.
Keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars.
You can fly. You can fly.
And bye.
Bye.